Mm. You've I'm Marshy Morgan. This is Marshy's Inspired Studio. Thank you if you're here. Thank you if you're watching later. So, today I want to talk about how to prepare for that next stage in life. And I'm middle-aged, you know. I've got that spread going like everybody. Um, but I wanted to keep this conversation real. And if you have questions, put them in the comments, um, because I think it helps people. And I don't know when someone's going to watch this. I don't know if they're watching it while I'm doing this live or if you're going to watch this later. So I do my best to respond to all comments. Okay. So, but before I dive into how we're supposed to prepare for this next stage, I just want to let you know that I wrote Grandparent Memories from the Heart, and you can find that link below, as well as 13 interactive challenges to self discovery. Now, you could be going, Marshy, I'm freaking middle aged. I'm getting elderly. I don't need to do that. Yes, you should. And we're going to talk about it. So, the first thing, what we do right now in our 50s and 60s for exercise and our health has a dramatic effect on our 70s and 80s. Now, I have been walking for a long, long time. Now, is that causing me to lose weight? No. Is it preventing weight coming on? Yeah. Is it still coming? Yeah. You know the feeling. You just look at a cake and or you take a bite and then you take 3 bites, and then the next thing you've had a little bunt at the Nothing Bundt Cake. If you haven't had Nothing Bundt Cake, check them out. Mwah! Lemon raspberry. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about health. Okay, protect your health now. How do we do that? How do we start protecting our health now versus later? Because later is too late. So, the first thing we have to do is we have to get into a routine of exercise. Now, what is that for you? Is that walking the treadmill, watching one of your TV shows? Or is it going for a walk every day? Is it going to the YMCA and going swimming? Is it weightlifting for strength? I, one of the things, and I forget what it's called. You can put it in the comments below if you remember what this test is called. But what the test is that you have to stand up and you have to lift up your leg, right? And you have to do that for like 30 seconds on each leg. And then you have to do the other one, right? And then you have to be able to kneel, be able to pick things up off the floor. It's a test, right? Now, here is something that is very important that you get in the habit of doing. Because when you live alone, if you fall or something like that and you can't get up, you have a problem. So sit down in a chair, cross your arms, and stand up. And you're supposed to squeeze your glutes, right? And you do that for 10 times. Now, the lower your chair, the harder this becomes. Okay? Try it with me. So up, squeeze, down, up, squeeze, down. Now, why are we doing that? It's strengthening your legs and it's strengthening your core. Now, we're doing that because we need to build strength. You should see me trying to get out of the pool at the YMCA, but I am determined to get out of the pool on my own. My big old butt's hanging out in the air. And you know what? I don't care because I learned a very valuable lesson from my aunt that's in her 80s. And I watched her fall. And I went right over to her and I was like, hey, let me help you up. And she's like, no. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't know what to do." She goes, I have to be able to get up off the floor. because of her independence. If you every day I get down on the floor, stretch my back, and get back up. I do that at least once a day. Why am I doing that? Because I can't lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. You have to get enough sleep. That is important. I've noticed, like, if I'm standing and you might even see my neck from the side view, that it's starting to do this. And why is that? It's because I'm on the screen all the time. I'm doing this number, right? On my phone, right? You've got to start thinking about your posture, because your posture, as we lose bone mass, the more we will lose and go forward. Well, we need to be looking straight ahead so we don't fall. When we're looking down at our feet, we're more prone to run into something and fall. So keep that in mind. And I am. Right. And I'm going, okay. All right. You want to stay mobile. That is your number one goal, is to be strong and be independent and be able to stay at home as long as you can, right? The next thing you have to do, and you'll notice these plaques on the back of the wall here, is I've been a personal financial analyst for over 30 years. No, this is not a solicitation to sell. No, I'm not talking about retirement. However, as a single woman, middle aged, you still have time. There are a couple of things you need to do. Number one is get on ssn.gov. What is that? That's the Social Security Administration, and it's where you see what your projection is. You see your work history, and the way they calculate it, I don't know the full calculation, but in summation here is 35, the top, the highest earning 35 years. You have to also see, are you even qualified? You have to have so many hours that work for this. And if you don't, it's a time to correct it. If you have zeros in your salary range, you have time to correct it. So go there right now, ssn.gov, and check that out. You need to look at that, because the second thing in this age group for us single ladies, we have to be financially prepared. There's no depending on a man, there's no depending on anybody else, right? I'm not getting married, a nurse and a purse and all that mess. I'm not doing it. So the thing is you have to be financially prepared. But if you don't know your buckets of money, where it's coming from, this is a problem. And you need to sit down with someone and get educated on your money. Stop making excuses. If you have done a good job, look at it. I look at my finances every month. Why do I look at my finances every month? Because I need to know how I'm paying my bills. Because there will come a point, ladies, that we're on a fixed income, a budget. And if you've never lived on a budget, woohoo, rude awakening, right? You have to learn how to budget your money and to live within a certain amount. But if you don't know what the amount is going to be, you need to find out. And you have time right now. Like, I have calculated that I have 9 years before I retire. But after looking at ssn.gov, I have to work until I'm 70 to replace some of those low incomes, because I had some zeros. All right. Which was not great. I got married. They didn't want me to work. I have some low years below. I have 11 under $5,000. This is bad. I have to try and replace them. Okay. Even if I work part time, I'm going to replace them, but I have to be thinking ahead. That's why I'm telling you to go to ssn.gov. Okay. You have to know those income streams that are coming. Is it your Social Security? Are you one of the fortunate that has a pension? Are you going to have a Roth IRA, some money there? Are you going to have an annuity? You have to know where your money is coming from, and you have to have some income streams, right? Because if you're going to just try and live off Social Security, you got a rough road ahead of you, and you need to be prepared for that. Okay, stay social on purpose. I was watching something the other day, and this 100-year-old lady was like, "Look, you need to talk to somebody every day, face to face, eyeball to eyeball." Oh, geez. I work from home. I live at home. I never get out. All I see is the mailman. I've got to get out. You know, sometimes I go for a walk. When I walk around the neighborhood, I, I say hi to John on the way because he's sitting there smoking a cigar with his dog, and I say hi, John, but I keep walking. But that's not what she means. She means connection. You have to strive to connect to people. And this is hard. Do you go to church? Do you have a hobby? Are you part of a service organization? Because after you stop working, all of a sudden, the people that you talk to every day vanish. When I left corporate, I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to. What's happening? What do I do? Now, because I live alone and I work alone, I have developed systems, right? I'm part of a quilt guild. I'm part of a meetup group for game night. I have a cook club group that I'm part of. So I'm getting interaction. Okay. It's important that you stay connected, but do it based on what interests you. Okay. The fourth thing is you've got to organize your documents, your life. You have to organize that. What do I mean? If you don't have a will, get that taken care of. I know it sucks. It took me a long time to get it done, and I got it done. All right? Because you got to figure out, where does the stuff go? Who's going to do your stuff? How is your medical going to be handled? Is it going to be handled just willy-nilly? No. You've got to set that power of attorney. You've got to set your medical power of attorney. You've got to decide, do you want a DNS, do not resuscitate, right? You have to make these decisions prior to getting out there, because if you get out there and then something happens, you're not able to do it possibly. So do it now and get that stuff taken care of. Okay. I can't stress that enough to you. And then the last thing that you have to do is keep growing, have a purpose. That's why this book is so cool. I have things in there. So the way the book works is I have 13 challenges, and in those challenges are 13 to 4 guided exercises. And when you're done, you have a written accountability of your life as legacy. And the last challenge is legacy. So it's not just about leaving money or planting a tree, right? Let's say Lady Gaga or Dolly Parton did just one or two little exercises in here, wrote it down. How much do you think this book would be worth? Dolly, if you see this, please fill it out and let me know. Anybody? Because it's important. You have an autographical account of your life, and you're not losing purpose. You're not losing hope because I'm forcing you to go out there and meet people. I'm forcing you to go out there and think about your health and exercise, and all of those things are in this book. Okay. And you can find that in the link below. Now, how are we going to find our purpose? You might say, well, Mercy, I, I just can't do anything. I'm not worth anything. Nah, nah. No matter what you say or do to me, I am a worthwhile person. No matter how old you are a worthwhile person. Repeat after me. No matter what you say or do to me, no matter what you say or do to me, I am a worthwhile person. I am a worthwhile person. You're one of God's creatures, okay? You're made in his image. So the thing is, you could do something that I don't know how to do. Like I went to a quilting retreat a few weekends ago. The ladies I was sitting at the table with were in their 80s. And I was blown away because I had one of these things that you put your cup on and all your scraps. And I was like, I sure would like to replace that little cloth thing. And she goes, oh, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I couldn't have done it. She was that strong. And she's like 82. My point is back up at the top of this deal is you have to keep your strength. I was so impressed. She still lives at home. She's still driving. She's still out there. She's an epitome of all of this. She's like, "No, I'm not eating pork on this deal. No, I'm not eating chocolate. Thanks, but no." And then, yeah, I was like, "Okay, I need to follow the example." She was mentoring me, so she was showing me how to, um, do some stitches and some quilting, and another one of the ladies at the table, I was like, "I don't know how to use this ruler, I don't know how to square my thing," and she's like, "Okay, dear, come over here and I'll show you how to do it." Right? So you don't want to lose purpose. You bring value. Your experience brings value. Maybe you're great at cooking. Maybe on your walk every day, you're able to see someone that's struggling, a single mom, and she's like, "Man, I'm just, I just can't do this anymore." And you say, "You know what? I'll be happy to pick um, Emily and walk her home from school every day." You take that breather. You can do that. You're not doing childcare. You're just escorting the child home. So, what I'm getting at is try and help people, right? Maybe it's make that casserole for someone. Maybe one of your friends went to the hospital. Maybe you do their chores for a week, right? Maybe you're doing their laundry or something like that. And this is important. Don't go ask them, "Hey, how can I help you?" Because every time they'll say, "I'm fine. I don't need anything." What you do is you say, "You know what? What works best for you, Tuesday or Wednesday?" Tuesday. Why? Because I'm coming over and I'm going to do your laundry. I'm going to do a load of laundry and I'm going to strip your bed and I'm going to make your bed on Tuesday. I'll be there at 3 o'clock. Don't ask what how I can help you, because 9 times out of 10 you'll get this wall glazy look, "Ah, I don't need it, whatever." But if you say, "Hey, what works better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday?" Because they might have doctor's appointments, right? And go, "Okay, I have this time. I have 3 o'clock. I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna take care of stuff." Okay, thanks. And then you do it. And then you actually do it. Guess what? You have just created more bond with that friend. Okay. If this helped you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is Marshy's Inspired Studio. I appreciate your time today. If this helped you, please share the information and check out my playlist. Bye bye. End of stream. Your stream will stop. Okay, end.